So what does retirement look like to you? Well, a retired optometrist here in Northern Virginia, she had quite a vision for what retirement would look like. She's opened up an ice cream store. It's just turned a year old. Dr. Robin Ranierson is here with us. She's an optometrist. We're in Falls Church at her business, Jake's Ice Cream. What is special about Jake's? Why did you do this?
I did this because I have a 29-year-old nephew with cerebral palsy who had a job for 8 years. And when COVID hit, there were 17 other people with disabilities working in the business that he was working in, and all 18 of these kids were basically let go over COVID. They've since been hired back, but it aggravated me more than you can imagine that he had no job for the better part of 2 years. So in the middle of all of this, not even knowing if they were going to bring these kids back, I talked to my brother and I said, you know, we've been very fortunate. I said, we need to open up a business that nobody can take away from him or people like him. Now, my postdoc is in pediatrics and developmental work, and so I have worked with people in the disabilities community my entire career for 44 and a half years. And so when I decided to open the ice cream parlor, the first 11 employees that I have here came right out of my patient population. A scoop with Oreo.
And then a chocolate milkshake.
And a chocolate milkshake, okay. We have 30 employees, about 24 of whom have disabilities of one sort or another. Some kids are working with a group job coach, some have individual job coaches, and some are independent enough that they need no assistance other than a list of things to do for the day.
Basically, everything that's kind of in bold, that's usually the everyday type of tasks that they do. Like, for example, taking out the trash, washing dishes, putting away dishes, restacking, sorting out clean and dirty laundry.
The kids that work with the group job coach in the back make my confections. They make the cake pops and the brownies and the Rice Krispie treats and things of that nature.
So, Kelly, do you remember where the parchment paper is?
Over there.
Yep, go ahead and grab 2 big sheets for me.
The rest of the kids are scooping ice cream, making the ice cream cakes. We have 24 flavors that are full-fat ice cream.
Let's check them out.
This first counter is only things with nuts. So because of food allergies and cross-contamination, we have the nuts and the nut scoops separate.
This
from
whole
everything
section
else.
talks to me.
That's right.
Okay.
So then we have the not nuts. They have their own utensils. There's a few examples of cake pops over here to give people an idea what they're going to look like.
Could you have ever imagined your retirement shaping up like this?
No, but I didn't imagine that my retirement would be doing nothing.
I'm very distracted by this delicious looking concoction back here.
She's setting up an ice cream cake.
This looks
So
gorgeous,
our
by the
ice
way.
cream cakes are 2 layers of ice cream, typically a crunch layer. In this case, it's Heath Bar Crunch. So we put a layer of ice cream in, we put the crunch in, and then it goes into the freezer to freeze hard. Then we have people that are not quite that disabled, but need to have a lot of supervision. And those are the kids that work in the back with the job coach.
I'm glad you're making that a habit. We always want to switch our gloves whenever we touch nuts because nuts have allergens. Then we will need 2 metal trays, which are going to be up
there.
There you go. And then we need to put 2 small pieces of parchment paper inside of those trays. There you go, Kelly. Good job.
You know, none of this is difficult. You break it down into small enough steps. Sometimes they need a buddy to work with them. Sometimes they can do it on their own. They can do it all.
Now, Jake's just celebrated its 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
How's
you.
business?
Pretty good. I mean, it's paying for itself, all right? So fortunately, I didn't have to go to the bank to borrow any money to open this place. So we are not servicing debt to break even. I haven't been paid back for any of my investment, but you know what, I really don't care.
Doesn't seem like it's about that.
It isn't about that, I don't care. And if I never get paid back and they just continue to pay for themselves, that's really my whole goal.
Oh, that's awesome. I love where she landed that right there, saying that's not really the point. The idea is to get these people out and about, get them some experience, both life-wise and job-wise.
Yeah, and she's going to be expanding as well. First of all, let me tell you, do you know how hard it was to work under these conditions where you're just surrounded by constant deliciousness? I mean, there are 3 things in my life that just elevate every day. If it's cold, if it's got caramel and crunchy, I am all about it, right? They had some, what did I have? I had the caramel praline ice cream. Literally almost died right there.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't, because you've imbibed before.
Yeah, we did it. It was just off camera,
Okay,
right? After
fair
the shoot
enough.
was wrapped up, she was like, "Here, have some." But listen, you know, a store as small as Jake's wouldn't normally employ 30 people, right? She's doing this because people aren't working full time. But this what she's doing is just so admirable and just so selfless, right? Is that somebody who has limitations, just because they have those limitations, doesn't mean they have to be limited. And she has basically dedicated the golden years of her life to lifting these folks up. And in fact, she said in the story that, you know, they're breaking even. She's not making money from it. She's just not getting back what she's put into it. Now she's talking about expanding. They're hoping to work with Dr. Ranierson, hoping to work with Amazon as they start to open up in Crystal City, to open a second ice cream shop location there. She's also talking about opening a gourmet popcorn store in Arlington, right around, kind of close to where she is in Falls Church now, but maybe a couple miles away. So she said look for that sort of in late fall, maybe early spring. She's an amazing woman doing amazing things, and the community has really wrapped its arms around her in the store.
People who want to help, people who want to contribute, obviously one way would be by, you know, going to the store, getting some ice cream and things like that. Any other ways which she can use assistance?
Not that she said this specifically, but, you know, folks who are in job coaching, like they have job coaches literally come to the store to be able to help out and walk some of these folks through some of the chores and duties that they had. But that's a great question. We'll pose it out there for folks when we post this on social media, and I'll actually reach out to her and say, you know, if there's anything more that we can do to bring attention to folks to help out there, you know, I'm sure she'd certainly be open to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? Congratulations, and thank you to people like her that are literally like the essence of this bit, doing her part to try and make our community a better place.
Yeah, for sure. And are you a big ice cream buff?
Of course.
What's your flavor?
You know what? I can do a little Rocky Road.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I do a little waffle cone.
Yeah.
You know, waffle cone ice cream's amazing.
They got all kinds of stuff there. Listen, if you know people like Dr. Robert Ranierson, people who are doing just amazing things in the community, we want to tell their story. Reach out to me. I'm on social media at Adam Longo or Adam Longo TV on Twitter. You can also find me on TikTok, barely. You can also email me, alongo@wsa9.com.
Anything but regular vanilla. We don't do that around these parts.